What about moving forward? So Rafi, what are your future plans here on out? Are you still active in the market? Are you looking to grow and expand? If you could maybe go over your 5-year goals or something like that.
Yeah, well, I have a vision. I don't have like 5 years goal. I know where I want to be. So I want to have a holding company. So what it means, I want to have like I want to own the properties. I don't want to or own a share of properties. I don't want to do like in syndication that after 5 years you got to sell because the investors are expecting. So I got to figure this out on the way. But before that, I need to, one of the things I'm looking to do is think it as a company and not just an entrepreneur, or I'm doing, I'm finding a deal, then I'm joint venture with this one, and I'm joint, like it's usually what's going on right now. So I'm looking to do something build here like a company where I have one team is for acquisition, one team is for going to private equity funds in Israel and building relationship and raising funds from them, and look at this as this is an American company. So I didn't say that. One of the things that for me it's that leading my way is I want to be even better than the Americans, than most Americans. I want to do it better because of the challenge. It's a challenge. Yeah. To overcome the distance and do it from here, from Israel. I want to do even better. I don't want to give myself any, give myself like, I'm far away, so I can't do it. I want to do it even, better. So I think building a company, a legacy, that's what I'm looking to do.
Awesome. Yeah, for anybody watching, I mean, we have no excuses if we're here in the U.S. If these guys can do it, that's for sure. So Marcel, what about you? What's kind of on the horizon for you? What are your goals and what are you looking to accomplish?
I'm a bit tired to be a landlord, or I don't want to fix toilets and tenants. And I think you have those 3 words: toilet, termites, and tenants. And I don't want to do Airbnb. I don't want to do wholesaling or like fix and flip and all these things. So I think I want to be a syndicator in terms of passive at the moment. Could always switch to active. I mean, you have also the know-how when you're passive. Probably you can also do it active later. But at the moment, I'm focusing on passive, which is actually like in the airplane, you're in the passenger seat. I mean, in the end, it's the same returns. I mean, just the syndicators gets more some extra money, and that's okay because you do all the work. And so I want to be passive in about 30 syndications and about 8,000 or 10,000 doors. I think the nice, of course, is to be like with about 1.6 to 2 million or 3 million parked in real estate and can work and grows and the passive income. And that's what I'm a bit focusing. So actually my goal is just to save a lot of money for equity, so I can always come into the game. And of course there's always an up and down, like a roller coaster, and maybe at the moment we do not really know are we going down in the next 12 14 months. But I think like I said in the beginning, real estate is one of the best investment, and the best is if you can touch when you're in the bottom and you can ride this and just be in the game. That's from my side.
Awesome. Yeah. So, Charles had a question, and then, we kind of had, Hayden and I had similar thoughts. So, I'll kind of open it up to either of you guys. And if you don't know the answer, then that's no big deal. But just kind of curious as to, in your, in your respective countries, does it benefit you from a tax perspective to invest in the U.S.? Kind of the first question. Then the other one is, do you get any benefits from opportunity zones? So if you invest in an opportunity zone in the U.S., does that help you guys at all, or is it kind of that doesn't really help you?
Okay, we don't get any benefit for investing in the States for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a benefit, but we don't have a double tax, meaning we pay tax in America and we need to pay tax in Israel. It means we pay higher tax in Israel. So, if we pay in America, it's being deducted. But opportunity zone, I think it's like any American. I haven't done investment in opportunity zone, if that was your question. So I don't know really I know in general the benefits, but I don't think my country, in Israel, I get any benefits for that.
Okay. Marcel, do you have any do you have anything you want to add?
No, I think I also am not familiar with the quality of these opportunity zones. But what I can say in general with all these, syndications, when you are like talking to my CPA in Switzerland, and let's say you can write off because of depreciation and all the advantages you have in the US with those fantastic tax laws when it comes to real estate syndications, you can write it off, and you have because of course you are also providing affordable housing, and on the other hand you're providing jobs, which the government gives you tax breaks in forms of depreciation, and of course in the first 5 years, for example, you have in those passive real estate deals, you have a loss on the paper on these K1s. So when I get these K1s, I forward it to my CPA, who is a tax advisor. I'm absolutely not so good in taxes, but then he will take those off as losses, and with my Swiss income, it will go down with the tax bracket, because from a Swiss perspective, the tax will see, okay, this guy made a loss in the US. Of course, my bank account gets a little bit higher because of the cash flow, but on the paper it's a loss because of this advantage. So the tax bracket goes a little bit down, which leads to a little advantage in Swiss taxes.
Awesome. Yeah, that's interesting. So now, Rafi, if you don't mind sharing, what do you look for in a deal? Maybe some deal metrics that you look for, maybe like unit size, ROI return, or cash on cash, or anything like that.
Yeah, so I'm looking at least 8 cash on cash, 15% IRR, maybe a 100% return on investment for 5-6 years. I think it's usual. I'm looking on a deal that I'm not particularly looking for a deal that you need to rebuild it from the start. It's not something I do right now. I'm looking for a value add deal which rents are low, mismanaged, things like that. Actually, that's what I'm working right now directly to an owner. It's in Kentucky, in Louisville. The owner, I saw it in the cash flow that he is losing money, and I saw that there is a drop in the occupancy, and I saw the balance are getting higher and higher in the rent roll. So I see that there is a problem, managing the project for and an owner. I talked with him, and I understand from him that there is a water leaks. I saw that in the T12 too, and more and more I dig in, I see that he doesn't have money to repair the water leaks. So he doesn't have cash flow. He doesn't have cash flow. He cannot turn units. He's in the downroad. So this is a motivation. So things like that. That's what I'm looking to find. One of the advantage of being directly to owner, you can say to me now, but in a month the conversation can be different, right? Because I know where he's heading. He's going to sell the property eventually. It's going to be to me, to somebody else, or So that's kind of what I look. That's why I like working directly with owners, because you understand the story. Where with brokers, you don't know what's going on really. You don't know the story. They don't share with you the story. They just give you the numbers, and you got to read the situation, right? So yeah, I think I answered.
Yeah, yeah. What about you, Marcel? Is there certain deal metrics, especially from maybe an active or passive perspective too? What do you typically look for?
Yes, I think I'm okay with a 6 to 7 cap rate, but like Rafi also mentioned, somehow I'm not a cap rate buyer, so I'm looking more where can the deal go in a couple of years? Where will it be? Meaning like you want to buy it on intrinsic value below below the value. I make an example, very simple example, like for $1 I can get it for 50 cents, and I know it's going to be $2 in a couple of years. So this is something where I'm looking at. Regardless of active or passive, I think you just want to have a winner deal, of course, in a market which is a bit different than now. But of course, you find also opportunities in a market. You find it always in every market. It's just going to be harder at the moment. But I think this is one metrics is especially also the market and this, of course, the sponsor team, the people who find the deals and what you do with the deal. The investment strategy and the business plan, very, very important to look into